Good to have Shabbos, everyone. Parshas Behar, Bechukotai, Shabbos, Chazak. So to crystallize a few ideas we spoke about this week in the classes, in the Parsha class, and the Sikha class, the Rebbe is teaching us about the process and the mindset a person has to have through their journey in life. This week's Parsha is Bechukotai Telechu, and then in our journey we have different stages and different methods, and also there's a strategy and a method, a way of how we view our past achievements versus what we're looking to achieve and achieving now, and how we have to organize it in the proper way to be able to take in the present moment, at the same time not losing the past. And this is really kind of shown in this week's parsha. This week's parsha starts with a very high note. Behar, we're on a mountain, talks about the laws of Kisavayu al Aretz, we're entering the land, the laws of Shemitah, sabbatical, so much so, like the Alter Rebbe points out, we walk right into sabbatical. We walk into the highest moment, the blessing, 3 years of blessing out of nature. And we finish off the Parsha of Behar onto mamish seemingly a horribly low point, where the Rashi has to point out that the Torah tells that even a person who's sold as a slave to a Gentile, means you've fallen so low, and the person may think that I don't even have to keep Torah mitzvahs. I don't have to. I could bow to idols. I don't have to keep Shabbos. The Torah has to warn that even if your master, your owner, is a non-Jew and serving idols, that you still have to keep Torah mitzvahs. So to understand this, is we had the story from Lag Bomer, told on Lag Bomer. The Rebbe tells it in 1980. Of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. We told the story many times, but the lesson is tremendous. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, a couple comes to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and says that we want to get divorced because we can't have children. And to say the story in short, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai says, listen, I understand, so if you want to get divorced, that's okay, but you should throw a party for your divorce because you love each other, you can't have children, so you want to move on, each one try to get married separately. And in this party and the guests and the celebration and the crying, the husband becomes so under the influence of alcohol and wine, and he tells his wife, love, take anything you want, and then we'll divide everything separately. But you can take tonight, anything you want. And he falls asleep and wakes up in his father-in-law's home, his mother-in-law's home, and he says, what's this? And she said, I can take whatever I want you. And they go back to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and he blesses them, and they have children. And the lesson in the story, as the Rebbe actually continues, that this is a story that's brought down in the Medrash Shir Shirim, that the Shira Rabbah, that the sometimes like it's the children we know is our deeds, is our mitzvahs. Sometimes it's the details of our life, and sometimes we're so focused on trying to have that we forget what's the center of our life. And here this couple is so focused on having children to forget about the love they have for each other. As the love the Jewish people, like the Medrash continues, this story is a representation of the Jewish people's love for Hashem. And sometimes we have to realize, we have to reach a low point, because that's part of the progress of sometimes when we think we have nothing, we've lost everything, and then we realize that we have everything, that what was standing in front of us, her husband, that's what she really wants. The Jewish people takes Hashem. And that's why in the continuation of the next parsha, when we talk about the blessings, like we pointed out in the Parsha class, God says, I'm not going to be disgusted by you. What do you mean I'm not going to be disgusted by you? Why should God be disgusted by us? I mean, who says that? Imagine you said to your spouse, I'm not disgusted by you. Why would you think? Why would you even say such a thing? And here we're talking about the blessings. The reason is because the blessings it's a progress. How we move forward in life. Sometimes it's not always so clear. Sometimes in our achievements, like the end of the Parsha Behar, you think you're on the lowest point. You started off the Parsha on the mountain. You started off going into Eretz Yisrael. You started off into Shemitah, sabbatical. And it finishes off you're being sold as a servant. But maybe for you to realize that that's actually progress. For you to realize that even in the darkest place where you think you have nothing, where you may think you could serve idols because you have no freedom. You're totally owned by this master, this Gentile. The Torah says, no, I'm still there. God is still there. It's like the woman who says she doesn't have children, that means she has nothing. She realizes that everything she really wants is in front of her as her husband. Everything the Jewish people want is Hashem. I want to bless everyone with, in this week's parsha, this clarity And with the clarity, we should know what our priorities, and we should know how to make progress in how the Rebbe teaches us. That sometimes we have to put away everything that we think we have to understand how we can move forward. And the chokhmah is, the wisdom is know how to bring our past back into our life when it's ready for us to move even forward until the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu Meir Ben Mamash.